Welcome back, viewers. It was a miracle at the Oval on the morning of the fifth day. Shubman Gill and company clinched the victory from the jaws of defeat, levelling a series which didn't look like that could happen. Mohammed Siraj was the wrecker-in-chief as he picked a fifer to lead India to history. I want to quickly cut across to a team that closely watches cricket. Rajdeep Sardesai, consulting editor, was all smiles today. Nikhil Naz, consulting editor, in the studio with me. Rahul Rawat is joining us live from London. And Rahul, let's quickly come to you first. That was quite a match, Rahul. Would you take us through it? Especially the last few balls where I would reckon 8 runs were needed and 1 wicket.
Well, it has to be one of the most epic wins as far as India is concerned. This very ground, way back in 1971, India got their first victory here under the captaincy of Ajit Wadekar at that time. And this victory, those 57 minutes of this last day of the fifth day of this fifth test match. And this has to be everybody here in England, all 5 test matches, all 25 days. It was packed. It was a packed house, every ground. And it was a fitting end to this series. Those last 57 minutes, a lot of Englishmen had gathered in the stadium because they actually sensed a victory. And to be honest, England were heavy favorites. Just 35 runs and 4 wickets in hand. India, well, they bowled their heart out, especially Mohammed Siraj. The second test match at Edgbaston, and then here again at the Oval, 5 wickets in this test innings. It has to be one of the most iconic
Right.
victories for India. The 2021 Border Gavaskar Trophy, well, it was something similar sort of, if you compare the two series. There also India drew in Sydney and then came back to win the last test match in Brisbane. Here again, the last test match, they batted 2 days, almost 2 days, and then a famous victory here at the Oval, Preeti.
All right, I want to cut across to Rajdeep, and then we have Nikhil with us. Rajdeep, what do you make of India's victory? You've been all smiles ever since in the newsroom.
Look, this is yet another momentous moment for Indian cricket, which in recent times has witnessed several path-breaking victories, both in Test cricket and indeed in white ball cricket. But this was extra special because this was a young team, a team which was being written off by many before the series, but has done incredibly well to take on the English on their home soil. And this victory in particular, Preeti, exemplified the spirit of this new Indian cricket team, this never say die spirit. At 301 for 3, chasing 374, you would have thought it was a done deal for England. But then comes back this Indian team with Mohammed Siraj bowling from one end and Prasidh Krishna bowling from the other. And when this is taken straight from social media, when you've got one player with Mohammed in his name on one side and Krishna on the other side, you know that Indian cricket is in good hands. And really, Mohammed Siraj in particular today exemplified what this Indian team is about. I mean, he bowled with the heart of a lion. He's a DSP in Hyderabad, but he should be promoted to SP after the remarkable effort that he put in to win this test match. And it was a team effort. Every member of this team has contributed at some stage or the other to what is you could call it the Oval miracle. And there is a historical context, Preeti. India's first big win, first ever win over England in England was at the Oval in 1971. And that was written in folklore for my generation in the 70s. This victory will be written in folklore for 21st century India.
I want to bring in Nikhil Naz. Nikhil, Rajdeep also touching on the fact that this is a young team, all of them chipping in, coming together as a team. Do you see this as possibly that marquee moment of a generational shift where Indian cricket is concerned, Test cricket?
That's true, Preeti. In fact, when this series started, this was going to be the litmus test for a team in transition. Yes, it had a few players that had played Test cricket for a good 5-7 years. But remember, you were also going into this series minus Three of your stalwarts, no Virat Kohli, no Rohit Sharma, no Ravichandran Ashwin. In fact, if you go on to make, some of India's finest teams, these three will make that cut. So imagine not having these three. This is the first series you're playing without these three. And then your number one bowler in Jasprit Bumrah is not available for the entire series because of an injury. So he's only available for a limited amount of test matches. With that, a captain who's captaining for the very first time. So I think whatever this result or whatever result we would have seen in this series would have given us a sneak peek into what does the future hold for this transitional Indian team. And I think the difference at the end is just 6 runs. Remember, India has won this game by 6 runs. It's a miracle, no less, because of the position that you found itself in. But this 2-all, I think, is no less than a victory, which will now give this young team a roadmap as to where they need to go. Will give a lot of Indian cricket fans hope that even though some of your stalwarts have stepped aside, there is enough bench strength, there is enough resources that you have within Indian cricket to ensure that you have a healthy cricket.
So, Nikhil,
system.
with what we speak of, that moment, that journey, that transition of this young team where a generational shift is concerned, that transition now complete?
I would think so.
This is that moment?
I think so. See, the transition would have anyway happened because the players that I just mentioned.
No, like for them to come into their
Sure. And I think the biggest takeaway from me from here, and we looked at all the individual performances, Rajdeep spoke about it, Rahul spoke about it. There are multiple heroes that have emerged over these 25 days of intense cricket that we saw. But I think the biggest takeaway for me has been that it's been a prickly series, this entire series. There was a lot of things that were said on and off the field. There were tough situations. Indians were under pressure. The English tabloids were working overtime. Things were written about the unsporting behavior on a few occasions. Now, so they were pushed to a wall. You're trailing 2-1. You're in a situation where you're going to lose the series 3-1.
Right.
From there, that Indian team, young team bounces back. It tells me the character of this team. What this tells me is that, this is coming of age of this young team. And what this tells me that if you put more pressure on them, they have this ability to bounce back. And that, I think, is incredible.
Rajdeep, do you regret it not seeing it because you had tickets and you chose not to go? Do you regret it at all?
Now you're touching a raw nerve. I had tickets for the Lord's Test match, which we lost by 22 runs. This one we won by a narrower margin. Usually when I watch India play Test cricket, we tend to lose. So maybe it was best that I stayed away. But look, when I grow old, or I am already old, I will remember Mohammed Siraj's bowling. As I said, jigar hai us bande mein. Jigar matters more than anything else. You can have skill, but bande mein jigar hai.
Rahul, what's the plan tonight then for the Indian cricket team?
Well, I'll have to check. The Indian team left pretty late. Of course, there were celebrations here at the ground as well. And I'm pretty sure because earlier in the morning, Preeti, I'll tell you, just as a cricket analyst, a lot of people would have thought that this is going to be very, very difficult. But fans, they are very optimistic. And around 200 people had already gathered earlier in the morning when the team was to leave from the team hotel to the stadium. I'm pretty sure because I would also head straight to the team hotel because I'm pretty sure at least 2,000 people should be there. It's a weekday. It's a Monday evening, afternoon here in London. And I'm pretty sure people of all ages would be standing right outside that, outside the Taj Hotel here in London, waiting for the team to get a glimpse of their heroes.
Well, they've earned every bit of that celebration and to be celebrated. I thank all three of you gentlemen for joining us. Thank you guys, and what a great day at the Oval.